Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for coming.
Yes, our
Judah.
pleasure. Yes. Judah here.
Yeah.
Such good energies tonight. How can we help you? Well, we remember your wife had a question
Yes,
about
that's what I'm trying to remember.
angelic hierarchy.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Well, we already asked it though.
Well, she asked, is Judah subject to an archangel or under the authority of an archangel? And we would say yes. Michael is the archangel to whom we report
Oh, I know.
and respond.
Do you remember what the question was, Judah? Why Michael instead of one of the other ones? That was the question. Because Michael, there's something about Michael
Yes, Michael is the captain of the heavenly host. He has indescribable military prowess and capabilities. He thinks like a 5-star general. He is constantly on the offensive.
And how does he do that? What does he do? I thought you guys weren't supposed to interfere with this.
Michael does not interfere. Well, let's see here how we can explain this. What does it mean to be on the offensive?
It means that you're moving forward and trying to gain ground rather than being on the defensive, which means you're trying to ward off.
Yes, that is correct. Well, Michael is a brilliant strategist. He is not in the habit of losing to anyone, especially not to dark beings. Does he have to engage them? Yes. But he is primarily on the offensive. That is bringing light and advancing light. And so you said, well, you asked the question, please ask again. We thought you said that angels do not interfere.
Yeah, when he was a general, and so my first thought was that he's planning what happens here on the planet, but it sounds like, no, that's not it. Sounds like he's planning how to ward off dark energy.
Well, that includes his work with humanity.
Yes, but...
Well, you see, let us make an insertion here. As cosmic beings, we don't separate out things as in the same way that you do. In your thinking, you very clearly see things as either tangible, 3-dimensional, that you can touch, taste, see, feel, or off-world, which really in your construct feels more like something imaginary. It is different for us. We see the both as very much the same with few differences. Souls on and off world are not as different in our mindsets as they are in yours, in other words.
Yeah, but there has to be some kind of difference.
Okay, let us talk here for a bit about what Michael is doing.
All right.
Okay.
Give it to me.
So Michael never do angels control human beings. That is what you are referring
Yeah,
to.
that's what I was, yeah.
Yes, we will not violate the will of a human being. So interfere perhaps is not the right word. We do interfere, but not in violation of the human's will. and not without their permission, but we are constantly influencing situations and constantly on the offensive, bringing in light and wisdom and messages and tweaking circumstances and situations, influences whenever possible. So you ask, why does Judah work with this warring angel? Well, originally Lucifer was the archangel that oversaw anything related to worship, high praise music, you see. And obviously he is busy with other endeavors. And so Michael has taken on some of the worshiping angels that remained true to Father, Mother, God, and did not follow the Archangel Lucifer, who was created and intended to be the authority in angelic hierarchy over worshiping angels such as ourselves. Now, we are also messenger angels and work with Gabriel, but he is not directly responsible for our interactions.
Okay, well, I wouldn't mind knowing more about this Lucifer thing. I don't quite understand. God made Lucifer.
Yes.
So he must have known that Lucifer was going to go off the deep end or whatever he
Yes.
did. So he did that on purpose?
You mean, did the Father, Mother, God create Lucifer in spite of knowing that Lucifer would go awry?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Would a mother abort her baby just because she knew her child might not be well behaved?
Well, God didn't birth Lucifer.
God created Lucifer.
Right. So in the creation, it could have been that you're gonna do good.
Well, what would be the fun of that?
Well, that's true. Okay, you got me. That was a good one.
Okay, Michael would like to speak now. I'm going to speak now.
Good.
Michael here.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Am I supposed to salute?
Well, it's up to you.
I was just a private.
Oh, my dear, if you could see, if you could know, if your eyes were open and you understood what a glory I represent and the level of impact and authority I have been given in the earth and beyond, you would quickly ask for my assistance at every turn.
I would imagine that my mind is not capable of imagining that.
Well, I'm the big brother that you always wish you had when the bullies were around. And I am full of authority endowed to me by the Father, Mother, God. And all of my actions are significant and effective and completely authoritarian, and not in the sense that you would think with a human mindset. Because my authority is by no means corrupted in any way. It is holy and full of righteous power. And I always act in alignment with the Creator's will. And therefore, I am always in alignment with love and truth and justice. And I do not have to think about what action to take, because all of my actions are continually inspired by the Spirit of God. And thereby my actions are righteous. And this vessel, being one of Judah, is one of the littlest angels in my realm. And yet I see her at all times, and she is always in my care.
What do you mean by littlest of angels?
I mean exactly that.
Small in size, or at the bottom of the list?
Well, when I say small, I mean beloved like a small child.
Well, can you fix my finger?
Yes, most certainly.
Well, you're welcome to do that. I would appreciate it.
Yes.
It's a finger that I use for taking pulses.
Yes, so be it. Now, generally, I'm busy with other sorts of things, but remember that you may call upon Raphael for these things.
Okay. Raphael for what kind of thing?
Raphael is the archangel whose jurisdiction revolves around all things regarding healing.
Oh, okay.
Giving life, healing the body, and resurrecting the body.
Well, I'm glad you're here today, because I have a good question to ask you, because I wanted this answer before tomorrow. Do I remember that Gabrielle is the one that when I need to know what to say will be there for me?
Gabriel is the messenger. Yes. And so when you need specific words and you would like for those words to be resonant of the Creator, the words of the Creator from His mouth through your mouth, Gabriel is the one whom you may ask. He is the messenger angel. It is his job to bring forth messages from source like Hermes did.
Good. I might need him tomorrow. For this young 18-year-old boy.
Yes, so speak up and speak with authority. Loving authority to this young man, and trust that the words you speak are what he needs to hear.
Okay. In our journey with what we're doing, would there be any kind of situation on which we would call for you?
Yes, anytime you feel extreme resistance or feel like you are losing ground in a particular area, it is very likely because of your stature at this juncture in your spiritual work that there are dark entities moving against you in an offensive way in order to thwart your work. And so whenever you feel any sort of resistance or a sense of losing ground in any particular area, or struggling to hold ground in any particular area, be it physical, material, psychological, financial, then you call for my help.
Okay, thank you very much.
I am the angel that enacts war. Do you understand?
Yes.
So when I come, I'm not coming to play. I'm coming to slay. So if there's some house cleaning you need to do, something you really need to get rid of, be done with, I'm your guy. And listen carefully here, because there is a tendency at times to take prisoners of war. And we don't recommend that when it comes to darkness, you understand?
Yes.
You should never play around with darkness in that way. Best to execute it.
Okay.
If you entertain the devil, he might likely move in. Now, so I am the captain of the host of all this affair, you see, with Judah and yourselves. So I may show up from time to time, and Judah will be answering to me for all of Judah's various actions and inactions in your regard.
Thank you.
So you might like to learn about me and about my nature.
How may I do that?
Well, there's lots of information in the scriptures and around here and there by various other beings, such as your wife, who have channeled my directives.
Okay.
But mainly, this is very crucial for the both of you to remember at this juncture. You're not quite understanding this yet. Listen up. The two of you must learn how to tap the resources that we are, you see. The resource that I am, that Raphael is. The resources of Source, of Judah, and the many other beings coming to your aid. We're not here to entertain you with conversation. Do you understand?
Yes.
We're here to aid you in the work you've been given to do. So you must learn how to tap into our resources. It's very simple. We're going to tell you right now how to do it.
Please.
All you do is ask. You ask specifically, and we will come to respond immediately. So it is asking in faith, you see, asking in faith. The problem is you are so acclimated to this earth realm that you forget to ask. And if you ask, you may or may not really believe that we're answering. So the two of you have got to speak up, ask for what you want and need, and facilitate its coming through your faith. Ask, then step back and see it as done. Watch and behold, and be amazed that it is done. And be careful of your words, my dear. Listen carefully. Your words are all prayers, not the ones you wish to be prayers. The words with energy behind them are your prayers, so be very careful about what you say. If you say, I'm going to lose my shirt on this, then you will. We honor your words, you see. We don't evaluate them we don't stop and think, well, was Chuck joking when he said that? No, we take your words at face value. Please be careful of what you say.
So joking is not such a great thing to do then.
Well, it's fine to tell a joke, but be careful of the words. If you jokingly say, well, I got railroaded on that deal, then your words are bringing that into reality. You must begin to understand it is not just the words you put intention behind. It is all your words that are creating your reality. Now, we will tell you a little bit about today when your wife was so extremely agitated on the phone with the bank. She is tapping in energetically to the entire pulsating energy from that particular organization and all the thousands of employees it represents, and their intentions and the wickedness of their way of being. And this is why she was reacting so strongly. She was reacting out of righteous indignation for a very unholy business and all that it represents. So you may watch and learn from these experiences. When you see your wife acting out in this way, take note. There is a reason for it. It's not because she's having a bad day or being hormonal. Do you understand?
Yes.
So take note.
So, was it just that particular company, or was it that type of business? And does that mean that we should find a bank that doesn't resonate that way?
No, you do not have to apply any of what you're seeing in a natural sense. So listen carefully. This is a little tricky.
Okay.
We're not asking you to take a physical action in the natural three-dimensional realm. We are asking you on a spiritual plane to make note of her response, because in her response you are being given a revelation about how we feel about this sort of business. Do you see what we're saying here?
Yes, I do. I understand that.
So when she's reacting so volatilely, it is us. We are expressing our disdain.
Okay, so that doesn't mean that we then should find another bank that is more honest or more, or...
No, we are giving you a window into the mind of God in regards to these things.
And it's a good thing that well, not a good thing, but when it comes to that, and to have you guys come through her, or have you come through it, is actually a good
yes, so what you
thing.
are seeing is, you are seeing that she is responding as the holy angelic being she is. She is responding. Her response was a reflection of Judah and the angelic host that are fed up with these bankers, you see.
Yes, I do see.
Okay. So when you see her reacting in such manners like this, you will understand now.
So when I see her behaving like that, I shouldn't say, oh, do you need a treatment, or are you okay? I should just let her go ahead and express herself and be done with it? Unless she asks for something
Yes,
else?
that is right. And you may use it as a teaching moment for yourself. She is prophesying and telling a vision, you see. When she hangs up on the bank, you see, this is what we are doing. This is what we are doing. In the angelic realm, we are hanging up on this wicked system. We have nothing more to say to them. They must get their act together and do right, you see. We have no part of them and what they are doing. We don't like their manipulative words and ways, and their usury.
Yes, sometimes I do the same thing, but I wonder if I don't do it because of impatience rather than for the same reason that Angie does.
Great question. So this is an excellent time for you to explore that. Basically, to surmise what was going on was she was feeling absolutely incapable of engaging that particular energy. It did not seem at all in her mind to be a viable option. It was in no way in alignment with her soul for her to interact with that energy. And now this will be happening more and more. It happened to a lesser degree with her son. He came in the other day and was upset and feeling some victimization and real fear and true emotions. And she cannot cooperate with it anymore, you see. And so she began channeling and just speaking as Judah, as Judah, as Judah, as Judah, because something has shifted and there's no tolerance for that. You see, this is what is different between a fifth dimensional being and some other beings from other dimensions. Some beings can observe various things going on and have no judgment about it whatsoever, and they are completely at ease with whatever happens. You see. But that is not indicative of our angelic nature is different. An angelic nature is completely aligned with holiness, and it does not have space for darkness.
Well, I find this voice inside of me that says, that's what I feel with Joe. I don't know if it's true or not. It could be an excuse, but that's kind of what I feel about somebody selling drugs inside of a place that I own.
That's right. You are correct. There should not be any drug selling going on there, and there must be respect for your boundaries. And so you must call him on the carpet. He must stand on his 2 feet, and he must rise to the occasion. And so here is the clincher. Can you hold up a holy standard? And then can you hold this holy standard without rejecting the young man? Can you walk in such authority that your very presence will cause him to rise up in integrity and meet you and meet the standard? Do you see?
Yes, I can. Whether or not I've been doing that is a whole different story. But I do believe I can.
We believe you can as well. And you see, this is different than using the standard of holiness as an excuse to push one away. You see, you can use the standard of holiness to push them away, but you can also use the standard of holiness to call them up in integrity and to call them into alignment with who they are meant to be. You see, we will say this. It is said, some enlightened ones are called old souls. They are called old souls because, for 2 reasons. Sometimes because they are considered to be very wise, and wisdom is equated with old age. We have no qualms with that. But sometimes this word old soul has the connotation that one must live hundreds of thousands of lives to get their act together. And we're not about that, you see. We're about, well, just go ahead and line up with righteousness and the holiness of God. Line up. Do it now. Why spend years in pain and suffering and misalignment? Because to do so To do so is irreverent. It is mockery. It is spitting in the eye of God to continue to act in a way that you know is contrary to the glory of His being and majesty. Do you agree?
I do.
And this is how we are different as angelic beings. And so, can you open the door of your heart to this fear of God? We don't mean fear in the sense that you would normally think. We are talking about reverence. Can you open the door of your heart to hold within you such reverence, and then convey that to the young man, so that when you stand with him, you see you are standing in this sort of holiness and majesty, and you are calling him to line up with what is good and right and true. Not because he's afraid of you, but because of reverence for God and God in you, you see.
Yes.
And this reverence is shot through with love. But were you to experience it in the flesh, were the Creator to be in front of you at this moment, fear would be the right word, my dear. You would be on your face and you would wish the ground to swallow you whole. And even in that moment, you would feel completely and utterly loved in every cell of your being, you see.
I do see, because I've had some of that, maybe not to that degree, with Bhagwan.
If you have faith, you see, this is the part your wife has been waiting for. She is in agreement that the young man is not, and all the children are not in alignment. However, she is looking for this place of reverence and an invitation for them to line up.
Well, that was what I was going to ask you about, is that the idea of the way those kids are being brought up just gets me. It seems unholy to me.
It is, and so it's time to, without judgment, tell the truth, say it with authority, say it with love, and require that these children, these adult children, line up with some holiness and integrity here. And if you have adequately conveyed the presence and the authority of the Father God, they will feel just as we described. As you speak in the authority of the Father God, they will wish the ground to swallow them up. Yet at the same moment, they will be completely overwhelmed with your love for them. The love that speaks the truth. And they will know that you love them, you see. Now, how can you represent that to them?
Yes.
You represent it to them by allowing. This night is a beautiful invitation for you to come into this experience of the holiness and authority, the awe and wonder and love of the Father God. And so open your heart to it and let it take hold of every cell of you, and then you shall convey it to others. What is it that the Father God is looking for? He is looking for worshipers who worship not just through ecstatic dance and celebration and joy and love. Yes, all of that, but with truth and integrity and authority. He is looking for worshipers that worship in spirit and in truth. And we will tell you this is important. Are you listening?
Yes.
We would rather the children tell you the truth than change their behavior. Listen carefully. It's more important that they be honest about their truest self and their truest feelings and their truest condition. For that you can work with. Now, if they were to just give you a different action and a different behavior, but without aligning in their heart with the truth, ultimately the change would fail, you see. So if they can be honest in their hearts with you, this is a victory. Remember this.
This is not what Joe did, and this is one of the things that really discouraged me. Was him not telling the truth.
Yes, and remember, sometimes a little time is needed to process. So sometimes you will get rebellion from a child, but when they go home in the beginning, but when they go home and they have time to think and process and consider what has been said, when they are not feeling defensive, you may find that they are capable of aligning with truth. So remember that.
Okay.
For example, his ponderings about beginning an art business around design, that is the result of having listened to you. He did not hear it so well in the beginning, but you see, better a rebellious child that does the right thing in the end than a compliant child with a rebellious heart. Listen, let me say that again. That's important to remember. Better a rebellious child who ultimately does the right thing than a compliant child with a rebellious heart. For a compliant child that always does what you want, but has a rebellious heart underneath, is being false. Do you see?
Yes, Bhagwan used to tell a story about the two brothers, one who took off and came back, etc., etc. But yes, that story.
So if the young man or any of the other children, if they are rebellious on the front side, well, you might want to rejoice about that, for at least they are being truthful, you see. And if they wind up doing the right thing in the end, having had a change of heart, that's all the better than the compliant child, you see. Okay, well, Michael here. I salute you, Captain. And I shall be on my way for tonight, and I am here at your disposal when you need me.
Thank you so much. This was very enlightening. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
All praise, all glory be to God.